What have you learned about porn use amongst young men and how they feel about it?
So I think porn use is one of the most misunderstood things from this is just my opinion, okay? From a clinical perspective, from a psychological perspective, from a neuroscience perspective. So, we've done a lot of work with pornography usage, pornography addicts. So I think the first thing to understand, a lot of interesting stuff came out from our internal research. We're hopefully going to publish a paper on this within the next year or so, but hasn't really been formulated yet. So the first thing that's really interesting is that people who are addicted to pornography oftentimes get exposed at a very, very young age. We're talking about first exposure to pornography like prepubescent most of the time. Second thing is that pornography usage has nothing to do with sexual perversion. So a lot of people will think if someone is really, really addicted to pornography, they must be like really horny or like depraved in some way or things like that. Generally speaking, my experience has been that pornography usage is really just a very powerful emotional coping mechanism. So pornography usage will suppress a lot of negative emotions. And if you talk to people who use pornography, especially in an addictive way, what leads to usage is like feeling bad about yourself. And this is the big problem with pornography usage, which is that once you start to use it, it sort of engenders more shame and guilt. And in order to deal with the shame and guilt, you have to use it again, right? And it's just the kind of thing where if you like think about the societal stigma, if someone's like, yeah, like I grew up and I was addicted to alcohol, like, and now I'm sober for 20 years. And it's like, good for you, man. And it's like, yeah, I'm a recovering pornography addict. And it's like, you're not going to get the same, if you're dating someone and let's say you have a brother or sister, and they're like, yeah, I'm dating someone who's like been sober for 10 years. Like, cool. Right? Like that's probably good, like not bad for your relationship. I'm dating someone who's like been addicted to pornography for 10 years and they're, like there's a lot of stigma associated with a lot of shame associated with it. I think it's really about emotional regulation. This is really interesting. So there's research that shows that, so it really has nothing to do with sex, basically, which is what's weird. I mean, it can have sexual consequences and stuff and create problems in relationships. But there's a research that did a multivariate regression analysis on people addicted to pornography, which means they looked at which variable associates the most with pornography usage. And the number one variable was meaninglessness. So the more meaningless your life is, the more likely you are to be addicted to pornography. And so what we've actually kind of found, which is really interesting, is when you work with people like that, helping them develop like purpose helps them actually, like you have to have a reason to stop watching pornography. It's got to be like some kind of, you have to go through that withdrawal for some greater good. And so helping people find purpose is like one of the biggest things that apparently helps with pornography.